Hi guys, welcome back to my channel! I am Troy, I'm an avid storyteller, and one of my favorite hobbies is role-playing with random strangers I meet on the internet. One of the friends I've made this way was even foolish enough to trust me with his home address. In this day and age, we're all desperate to escape the horrific reality of our everyday lives with something much more innocent and fantastical. This is in part why we've seen such a boom in tabletop RPGs and Dungeons & Dragons, as well as aesthetics like cottagecore, dark academia, royal core, goblin core, grandma core, bimbo core. I myself am someone who has turned to writing collaborative stories online with strangers on the internet whom I've never met. We craft together characters and plots, twists and turns, drama, romance, and storylines that could fill several novels. One of my partners and I decided to take this adventure a step further by writing each other letters set in the point of view of our characters. Let me tell you all about it. Okay. Our story is set in a fictional setting so that we don't have to worry about historical accuracy. We've taken elements of steampunk, cottagecore, and fantasy medieval and just smushed them all together. I did my absolute best to summarize the plot that we've created for this roleplay, but it is super convoluted and I'm just gonna read it off the docs because I don't want to kill myself trying to memorize it to repeat to you. My partner, whose name is Cal, is writing as orphan twins named Rune and Aiden, who were taken in by the royal family to be trained as their personal assassins. And this is where they met my character, Princess Sincerity, with whom they became childhood best friends, but she was later excommunicated because it was discovered that she was actually an illegitimate heir. Years later, Ronan and Aiden have been hired to kill a witch, but they don't know that it's actually Sincerity who's been living her best life in the woods. Also, all three characters are trans, so when they knew each other when they were children, the twins were presenting as female and Sincerity was presenting as a male prince. So this helps in making it difficult for them to recognize each other today. There's a catch, however. The twins are not able to pass through the protection spells that surround her property, so they can't just go up to her and kill her. So they start sending her letters to try to gain her trust and lure her out. And that's where our roleplay is going to begin. Over time, we're going to have them start to piece together each other's identities and eventually have to conspire against the kingdom to keep from killing Sincerity, and also probably need to rescue the twins because at that point they would technically be traitors to the crown. So yeah, that's our basic plot. We also have some side characters like the younger brother to Sincerity, which is the Crown Prince Lark, his evil advisor that's whispering in his ear, and probably a lot more that we're gonna make up as we go along. We don't have the entire plot planned out because part of the fun of roleplay is seeing where things go and seeing where the characters take you. So this practice sheet is a bunch of different handwritings that I'm trying out for the character that I'm writing as for the first letter, who is the evil counselor to the prince. He's like the prince's, we call them owls, but it's the prince's second-hand man who gives him advice and stuff. Advisor, that's the word. He's the prince's advisor and he's evil. And he's basically the one convincing Cal's characters that they need to kill my character. And so I was trying to come up with an evil handwriting, and I think my favorite is this sloping one, which I actually did with the G2 pen, which doesn't want to focus because my camera is just crap. And the rest of them I did with a quill and ink. And I just feel like it's really messy. I definitely want to do a quill and ink when I get to my character Sincerity, my main character. When I'm writing her letters, I want to do a quill and ink because I have a certain handwriting with her that makes it way easier to use than just plain cursive. But yeah, I think to like save my mind, I'm gonna go with just the G2 pen for this evil advisor dude's perspective. I ended up writing 3 pages, which is good. I feel like anything more than 3 pages could be a little overwhelming to get through with my handwriting not being the neatest. So now I have to figure out what else I want to include. I know I want to include a spell card to show what the letter is enchanted with, and also a twig that's been tied up to look like a rune, like a twig charm witch symbol thing, because the document says that there is a rune included, so I'm going to fizz rep it because I'm extra. And then after everything is together, I'm going to put it in an envelope, and seal it with wax, which is the part I'm most excited for. In an effort to incorporate the magical abilities that our characters have, Cal and I decided to use spell cards and attach them to the letters. I am so excited for this. So the characters can't physically see the spell, but they're for us as the writers to know if our character is being affected by a spell. For example, the twins might attach a truth spell to their letter that they send Sincerity to force her to only tell the truth in her response. Similarly, Sincerity might use a divination spell to see what the twins' true intentions with her are, and that would have conflicting results. So the spells are just going to be represented by pieces of paper, but they might include physical components like bones, or like a poem that casts the spell, or a rock. So I've made the first spell tag. It's gloriously ridiculous and over the top. I still want to draw like a fake rune on the back. I'm thinking of like this compass design because this spell is meant to be one for protection and safe travels for the carrier. But right now I'm going to go to sleep because I'm too tired to do this very serious, laborious work. And then tomorrow I'm gonna make 2 other spell tags. So I wanted to hop in really quick and say that I actually was inspired to do this from a TikTok that I saw quite a long time ago, like maybe 2 years or 1 year ago, and it was someone who was doing a similar thing where they were role-playing over letters, and if I'm remembering correctly, they had a kind of royalty enemies to lovers situation going on, and they weren't super explicit about what the plot was about, but I just remember them like opening up their letters and being hype. And yeah, that was the TikTok video, and ever since then I've had this idea, this need to do this. So if you know who that user is, I was looking through the penpal hashtags and the roleplay hashtags and the penpal roleplay hashtags, and I couldn't find them. It was ages ago. So if you know who I'm talking about, let me know, because I want to see if they've updated and follow them, and yeah. Hi there, it's your friendly neighborhood Troy, here to inform you that the next video clip has some flashing lights due to the sun outside of my window being a little bitch. If you have sensitivity to that, please just close your eyes and listen to my voice. The video is of me spontaneously writing a second letter. This letter is in the point of view of the prince, Lark, who the twins work for. And he is wishing them well on their journey and expressing concern over how dangerous it is. And the tone that I was going for this letter turned out perfect. And that tone is very reserved and serious, but also holding on to some yearning and slightly homoerotic. And I feel like I conveyed that perfectly. Later on in this video, I will inform you that I attached all 3 spells to the advisor's letter, and this is not true. I later took the spell that was for safe travels and attached it to the prince's letter because I assumed he would give a little bit more of a shit about the twins than the advisor, so he wants them to be safe. And that's why I did that. Yes. The clip is now over, and if you have your eyes closed, you can open them. So I finished the spells and the first letter. I added a little wax seal that I made before on wax paper and then peeled it off, and I just glued it on here because the idea of pouring wax on this and then messing up the stamp is like too terrifying, so I just glued it on. And to this first letter, I've attached 3 spells. Since the letter is from a member of the Royal Council, I thought that the letter would be really heavily protected. So my first spell is a spell of protection and safe travel for the carrier, meaning that whoever is carrying the spell, whether that's the deliverer or the recipient will be safe, and the spell is guaranteed by a glyph that I designed of a compass and the celestial bodies. The next spell I have is actually a curse, and it's a curse on prying eyes, and it guarantees that only the intended recipient can decipher the message. So my idea is that the letter might hurt someone else who tries to read it, or it will just be invisible. And this curse is guaranteed by a hex on the back, which I designed like another kind of rune for, and it's a picture of a person's face with two eyes, and one eye is completely scratched out or like sealed with stitches or something, and then the other eye has the names Ronan and Aiden in it, the names of the twins, so that only they can read it. The last spell I included is a guarantee of delivery to whom the message is intended, and this spell is guaranteed by a charm. Its components are feather, a scroll with the recipient's name, so I added this ridiculous teal feather because it's the only feather I had that I could find, so it looks artificial, but I think it matches the gold accents pretty well, so I'm not too upset about it. But around the stem of the feather, if that's what it's called, I've tied a little scroll that has the twins' full name on it, and I tied it with the cute little cutouts of the stars that I got from the hole punch I used to make these. Cal is really cute. He said that he was actually going to make the spells now before he even got the first letter because he didn't want to be influenced at all by how I make the spells. And I honestly think that's a great idea because I really like the idea of everybody kind of having a different brand of magic and doing magic in different ways. Like some people are more mathematical and some people are all about studying intricate runes and some people are more nature-based. So I think it's totally reasonable for the spell cards to look different for each of the characters. Okay, so it is day 3 of working on this letter and I'm finally done. I feel like I've been possessed by a spirit or something and all I've been thinking about is this letter. I've been waking up every day and immediately getting started on it and working on it until like 1 in the morning. I'm actually surprised it took me this long, but I'm finally done. I have all the components. I haven't packaged yet with me. This is the letter from the advisor. This is the letter from the prince. I forgot to show you guys a picture of this, which is great because that means I don't have a picture of this, which means I don't know how to do Lark's handwriting. And I also made a rune, which I'll show you guys. So this rune is like the proof that there's a witch, but I'm pretty sure Sincerity didn't make it and the advisor just planted it in the forest for people to find. There we go. Did I break it? Did I break it? Oh my god, I kind of broke it. Wait. Oh no. Ah! Okay, I'm gonna have to glue this together, but this is the rune. It is made of twigs and yarn, which is why it broke apart. And the end I made to look bloody just with some paint. And in the center we have a couple of beads just because I wanted it to look a bit more cute. I just wanted to include it for story purposes. So yeah, I'll wrap that in tissue paper and glue it back together because it's kind of on the verge of breaking. I also thought it was really funny because this morning my dad was like, "Do you still need those feathers? Like, your mom found some on her walk." Okay, I packaged the rune like this with tissue paper and a piece of origami, and then I added a handle with care tag because, ooh, it's a dangerous rune, but also because it's really fragile, and then I wrapped it with twine. So, yay. So yeah, I'm really excited to get these in the mail. I'm gonna try to do that before my dentist appointment today, and then tonight I'm going to the Stranger Things experience with my friends, so I'm really excited about all that. Okay, I'm home from the post office. I accidentally paid for first class, so Cal should be getting the envelope tomorrow. I didn't tell him that just in case it does take longer, but that's like super exciting. That's way faster than I expected. I don't know why in my head I'm like, oh yeah, letters take like a whole week to arrive. I was so embarrassed because the guy helping me with the envelope asked if there was anything fragile inside, and I said yes, and he said what? And I said sticks, and he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, there's some sticks tied together, it's fragile. I I think he just wanted to make sure there was no glass or something. So yeah, that's the first letter done. I'm so excited to get Cal's response, and I will probably make another video when I do, so subscribe if you want to see that, and follow us on our like cool little romantic letter writing journey. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!